513 or 572-0215. REV-UP St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Doctor in the House with Dr. Leonard Surage brought to you the compliments of La Place Salaison, Jeanne Cooperative Credit Union and Tapio Hospital.
At Tapio Hospital, caring and competent obstetric consultants will see you safely from prenatal care through delivery with a team of excellent pediatric and anesthetic support. Tapio Hospital, where the patient's safety comes first.
In the heart of St. Lucia, where mountains meet the sea, there's a story of resilience, community, and a promise kept for over 50 years. Jeanne Credit Union has been a pillar of support and a friend. Together, we've weathered storms and celebrated triumphs, from sponsoring local events to supporting education. Our motto, together we can move mountains, isn't just words. It's a commitment to unity, progress, and shared success. Feel the pride, the belonging, and the warmth of a financial partner that cares. Join us and be part of something extraordinary.
It's delicious.
La Place Salaison is the true home of quality meat and deli products, selected and priced to suit every palate and pocket. We sell all cuts of meat, poultry and fish, from tasty lamb necks and succulent pork chops to lean dolphin and juicy top round steaks. Our deli items include turkey, ham, bacon, pork sausages, meat patties, chicken nuggets, deli ham and eggs, so that breakfast or that party is a breeze. And for your added convenience, we sell restaurant essentials and grocery items. So where's your next meal coming from? La Place Salaison, of course. La Place Salaison, Castries, Groselet, Beaufort, and Soufrière.
It's delicious.
It's now time for Doctor in the House, live on REV-UP St. Lucia, hosted by Dr. Leonard Surage. Dr. Surage, a very good evening to you. Always good to see you.
Good evening, Andre. Good evening, listeners. Good evening, followers to this program. Welcome once again to Doctor in the House. Today, Tuesday, 27th day of January, 2026. I had planned to do something to do with cancer, cervical cancer, but an accident occurred which had me thinking, and I thought today, in memory of somebody I knew, not extremely well, but more recently had passed away from a road traffic accident. And it inspired me to do a talk on road traffic accident today, because I don't want the relevance to escape us. That for a country our size, the number of accidents are intolerable. We just cannot continue like that. So I thought today I will do something on road traffic accident, something I may have done long ago, but it's always need revision. And I'll just give you some statistics that I came across while I was preparing this. One is that there has been a trend between January to October 2025 where St. Lucia recorded fatal accidents about 10, which is slightly lower than the usual. And I think it's partly to do with the Prime Minister telling people to be careful on the road, etc. And of course, having put measures in place. So that period of time, there were about 10 fatal accidents, which was significantly lower and had dropped from 20 to 10. However, it does not say much about the volume of problem and the number of victims that have suffered. Almost the same in terms of numbers. For example, in that same period, in January alone last year, 2025, there were about 100 road traffic accident victims. And so that is a significant number considering our size. And as it turned out, we in St. Lucia have a fatality rate of about 29.8, let's call it 30%. 30 persons per 100,000. When you look at the world averages, it's about 17. And we in St. Lucia have about 30 deaths per 100,000.
Wow.
And so you can see this is not statistics that are nice. And from a demographic point of view, about 79 to 80% of these people are male. And further, they are male between the ages of 18 and 44. This is the prime of your life. So when so many young males have departed, what it says for the contribution they could have made to society, the suffering that their family have to go through just because of a preventable problem. So it is saying that we must think back and begin to plan differently. The numbers of cars continue to increase. The road infrastructure has not changed significantly in terms of number of roads, etc. The surface of the road calls for questioning because you patch it today, it breaks down tomorrow. The same hole you're patching all year. And so there must be something different that we can do to alleviate this kind of thing. And more importantly, enforcement of rules and regulation. Many people believe we have no laws, but I quickly tell them we do have laws. And I think in the days of Kenny Anthony, they had modified the road traffic legislation to allow things like penalty points and demeriting points, etc. This is fairly well established in other countries.
You're saying that exists?
It exists. It's in our statutes, yeah. But for whatever reason, it's not practiced.
Being enforced, you mean?
It's not being enforced. And I understood there are many reasons why. For example, if you look at things like breathalyzing, the instruments need to be calibrated and other things need to happen to make it available. And even when you have to do a blood test, to test the exact value of the amount of alcohol in the blood, you have to ask the person permission. They may not grant permission. So there are a lot of impediments, legal impediments, that make the police a little hesitant to approach these people and do things. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be. And so that is one area that needs to be looked at. And I remember long ago we had the laser, where to look at how fast these people are driving. And again, calibration, and the thing just didn't catch on. So I'm saying that a serious effort must be made in terms of legislation, in terms of applying resources and training policemen to be able to take this bull by the horn and begin to straighten out the traffic situation. In some countries, they even have a traffic court to expedite it because it's an area of concern. Mm-hmm. So we must begin to be innovative and begin to look at how we can prevent so many accidents. The loss is not only about the vehicle, but remember also when two vehicles collide, everything that is required to fix these have to be imported. Mm-hmm. That's it. And at the end of every accident, there will be some people who will be out of work, loss of limb, loss of function, loss of mobility. All these have been factored to see it's not only the loss about the loss of a vehicle, it is a tremendous loss at all facets of existence. Mm-hmm.
But if you will, Dr. Surage, although you stationed at Tapion Hospital, and I imagine most of the victims would most likely be in a public hospital, most likely. But if that's not the case, then you can say so. But I know you do traverse both the Tapion and the public hospital. Yeah? So just to educate us, in terms of the aftermath of these accidents, right? I'm talking about the victims, or maybe even the perpetrator who ends up in hospital. What is it that they're going through? Can you probably explain to us what, from your observations, what have you noticed?
Well, I don't work in the casualty area, so that's where most of them come in. But certainly,
I'm talking about those who are there for a while.
Oh, those who've been hospitalized for a while. Well, they use a tremendous amount of resources. They may need they may have broken bones requiring repair, requiring surgery, and they may require rehabilitation. They may have nerve injuries. They may have limbs that are not functioning. So all these take physiotherapy, nursing care, doctors' care.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of resources from the hospital to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people that are most likely cannot pay in the government sector, cannot pay and may not pay and will not pay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you really cannot turn people down because of emergency and don't put a system in place to take care of them. At the same time, they need the care, so you have to give it to them. So that is why you need to have a lot of resources to take care of these preventable things. And even when they leave hospital, they will need physiotherapy.
Mm.
They may need crutches. They may need wheelchair. They may need all kind of support.
Mm-hmm.
So it is almost a never-ending demand for many of these victims.
And the statistics that you've provided, it just goes to show maybe after one person makes their exit, you have another group of individuals coming in there. And again, as you said, they're being almost like a burden on the state.
That's right. I remember last time...
Albeit, you even mentioned that some of them just don't even pay.
Yeah. Well, some may not have the money to pay. And some may have the money and feel, I pay tax, so I don't really have to pay anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So because our attitude towards healthcare is that you try to escape with as much as you can.
Well, I think that's our attitude generally.
I think so. Yeah. And I think it is, the whole thing ties down, because the same disregard for law is the same disregard for authority, is the same people that will end up breaking the law because they know the speed limit. They know on this little highway we have with 4 lanes, with a partition in between, you really have to drive slowly. And when, even every few days I pass around there, and when you see the speed they're traveling, and for example, look at the Millennium Highway with the double, with the tunnel. It is almost criminal to overtake in the tunnel.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And
I see it so often.
Yes.
Again, there is a book called The Tipping Point. And if I may have mentioned
and that's fine. Mm-hmm.
It is saying that stop the small ones, the big one will never happen. So it is us not paying attention to small crimes have given people the belief that you can go and commit bigger and bigger ones and you'll escape, and they do escape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it is nipping the thing in the bud and put some resources somewhere and begin to stop the small crimes and send a strong signal of law and order. Even if you hold back on all other services. Not when I said, I don't mean stop, but I mean the resource you'll put in the others, hold back on one and say, well, okay, law and order is our priority for this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you a probably a little difficult question. Have you ever spoken to one of the victims of a serious accident and as to find out what was going on? Yeah. Mm.
From time to time, and basically, some of them would tell you, man, I was driving, and this light came in my eyes, and I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't do anything. I tried to ditch the car, and I got hit.
Mm.
And up to today, I saw somebody who got hit by the roadside. A lady in her 70s, walking by the roadside, got hit and have all kind of fractures and so forth and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are innocent people. And the other thing is, if you're going to have a highway passing through a settlement or a development or a housing area, you must have sidewalk. You must make provision for the school children to pass on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
You must have bus stops so the bus can't stop indiscriminately where they feel like. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you must have a speed limit that you adhere to. If you're going to make this major road, the Vieux-Fort Castries Highway, pass through some settlement like Bexon and them places.
As you mentioned the Millennium Highway, I think maybe I can get your take on that. You traverse that road kind of regularly, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain portion of that that Millennium Highway. I think if you're heading down south and you pass OKEU going down there, there's a portion of the road where they have a sort of guardrail.
Yeah.
And I find that this has narrowed.
It, as a matter of fact, driving on that road, you feel it narrower than driving before Castries.
Yes, I get very nervous.
Yeah,
when I'm driving.
It does, with so much space you think they have, and yet the road is so narrow, you just feel as though you're driving on a knife edge.
Yeah, correct. Any little miscalculation,
you're off. Yeah, and I think even the rails I thought was too close to the road in that area you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it could be further back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's very little space there to maneuver, and as I said, one wrong calculation, and that's it. Because I find those heading up north, heading down south, you kind of like really close.
Mm. And I think in some areas, say if you leave the roundabout in cul-de-sac and going towards town, when you get to the junction, going right, that takes you back to the Mon.
Mm-hmm.
You pass through Cicero.
Mm-hmm.
That they should have a middle lane there, because you find that you have a up lane, down lane, and then you go into Cicero coming from south, and vehicle behind you don't know you are stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Vehicle you have to wait. So there's no middle lane where you can stay and wait for your turn.
Mm-hmm. You just sort of have to kind of figure it out as to where would be the best point
to position
yourself to make that right turn if you're heading to Cicero. Very good point.
So I've seen that, and of course I find even after between the two tunnels, the road goes down and we'll go there pretty fast. Yes. And it's a solid line all the way. Mm-hmm. There's no way to overtake. This may have its wisdom, but I think that nobody seems to mind it.
So, Dr. Surage, I mean, I know you're a philosopher. You're a philosopher, and I commend you on that. But let me ask you, do you think it is just something that is unique to the human spirit to want to take, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but to take risks, and especially when you're young? I remember, just speaking from personal experience, I used to do high jumping in school during my primary school days, right? Okay. I wasn't so bad, right? I was so bad. Sorry. And I mean, I wasn't afraid to jump over that rod and so on. It's like it didn't even bother me, right? And I remember when I got a lot older, I was in Soufre, okay, and I saw there was this hedge at some place I was. And I said, let me just, take a few steps backward and just jump over that thing, right? Mm-hmm. Which I would be able to do. So, it took a few paces, and I'm heading toward the hedge to jump on that thing. When I got close enough, I just stopped. So fear just came over me, like, can I really do that thing? Yeah, I said, boy, me? I take that chance. So, and I find that that came with age. Mm-hmm. So I'm just asking, do you think it has to do with, youth and how we are daredevils and we're unafraid, we think that we're invincible, that sort of thing? Or is this something to do with upbringing? Maybe we're not taught to be disciplined and so on, and to show care and concern for yourself and for your neighbors? Because at my age now, I generally think, I'm always thinking, what if a dog crosses the street? What if a child, happens to, the mother or father, they're just distracted for a second. You have a bus stop, and while they're making the payment to the bus driver, the child just, go. I'm always thinking of those kinds of things, and it's not really unwarranted. I tell you why I say that. I've often spoken about this experience when I was driving up the Mon one time. It was about minutes to 6 in the evening on my way to work, and going up the Mon just by the that guest house there. I forgot what it's called. And when I took that corner heading up the road, I mean, I don't drive fast. Dr. Surage, a baby was had left the house, and crossing the road.
A baby,
right? Crawling. Yeah,
Across the road?
Across the road, and I happened to stop. Of course, I stopped and I went, picked up the baby, and I just saw the mother coming outside and panicking, because she had just probably turned her back for a minute or something, and the child just left. So I'm saying, I'm always thinking, what if?
If you were driving first.
Yeah, what if? I'm always thinking that all the possibilities. So I'm asking, as young people, do you think it just has a lot to do with being some daredevil? You're not afraid of anything, and things can happen to you, or does that have to do with your upbringing?
It's a bit of both, in the sense that boys tend to be more adventurous than girls, and that has to do with their genes, their makeup. They're more troublesome, they're more inquiring. They may not be brighter, but they express their curiosity more. And that is all part of growing up, except that parents have to set boundaries as to what is considered curiosity and what's considered rudeness and what's considered unacceptable. But generally, that curiosity is what has made humankind develop. Because if all of us were yes men and didn't question the system, we would have never been able to have electricity today. We would be lighted by kerosene lamps. So it is the curiosity that actually makes us push the boundaries of reasoning.
Okay.
And make us, and you find boys usually have more bruises. When by the time they get into 30, 40, they have more little marks, more bruises, maybe a broken bone somewhere, far more broken noses, etc. Because when I fix up people's broken nose, I used to do it in England, Scotland, and I tell them, have you stopped playing rugby? Because if you continue playing rugby after I fix your nose for you, I'm not going to do it again. Wait until you finish the sport. When your nose is crooked and you finish the contact spot, I'll fix it for you. But so yes, boys and men tend to be a little more adventurous. And men are adventurous in many ways, to prove themselves, to assess themselves, to see what they can do and what they cannot do, what they can escape with and what they cannot escape with, where their limits are. And these are important things for you to know what you are worth. Okay, there'll be those who don't rock the system, who don't change the system and just ride with it. There are some who don't get involved in much, just one piece in their life, and there are some that are inquiring. They always want to find answers to things. And these are the things you must encourage, because that's how we advance forward.
But how do you get to a balance? While it's good to be adventurous and inquisitive and want to explore, right? Obviously, there are dangers
but
looking.
at the expense of somebody else.
Right. So
if you're going to be selfish about your exploration at the expense of other people, whether it is spouse or whether it is family or whatever, then that could not be a desirable thing. So you must be experimental. You must push the envelope. You must be inquiring, but not at the detriment of people.
Give us an example.
Oh, well, you can decide you want to pursue, you want to know if by putting poison in the water, you'll kill all the fish. But you never realize that people down there will drink the water.
Okay.
So your selfish gain by trying to find something, it will be at the expense of other people. And there are many examples where people try to sponge off other people as well. But I think that the inquiring nature, and that is why in upbringing our children, you don't penalize them for trying new things. Because if you do so, you'll create a kind of yes people that don't want to trouble anything because they know they're getting beaten up, and they don't want to experiment new things, and so they are good, they're nice, but they're not progressive.
So you're saying, yes, be adventurous, take risks, and so on, but not to the detriment of your fellow man.
Yeah.
The minute what you're doing will or could negatively impact your neighbor, then it's not a wise thing to do.
It becomes a selfish thing.
I don't remember that some time ago. I think it was around Juniquayol time. I remember a story where some guys wanted to catch, I don't remember exactly what it was, and they wanted to sell those.
Yeah, crayfish.
Crayfish
Because if you put certain things in the water, it kills the crayfish. I don't know, it's vinegar or whatever. Maybe our listeners can tell us what it was, because we have some sharp listeners around.
They can remind us.
Yeah. So, it was something they put in the water. Bleach, it may have been. And it kills the crayfish, and they're floating up in there.
Right.
And
that makes it easy for them to get the crayfish to sell and so on.
Yeah.
But now, as you said, they're downstream.
Somebody may use the water, and it may affect them. Maybe bathe in the water or wash their face. Damage.
So, now let's juxtapose that against what we're talking about today. The whole issue of, careless driving and sort of thing, causing so many accidents and people getting hurt, injured, and not only maybe those that were, not just the people who are the casualties, meaning they were innocent bystanders. I'm talking about the perpetrators themselves getting injured or even killed. So how do you now that advice that you are giving, how does it apply now to somebody who has that powerful weapon, meaning a vehicle, right? And they want to be adventurous, right? They want to push the limits and experiment and see what is it that they can get away with. So how can they apply that now, that thinking?
Okay. Well, again, if you're going to test how fast you can drive, go and look for a road in a lonely place where there's nobody for you to trouble.
The Kakabef.
Area. Yeah, in G4.
Yeah, but that means you have to drive all the way down there.
Yeah, but at the same time.
And by the way, is that road? I've never been there, to be honest with you. Is that just like available? It's just an open space. You can just go there whenever you want, how you want, that kind of thing.
Because the airport was made like a Y, a straight limb which everybody used. They've extended it, and there was a Y limb to it, which is the Kakabef area, and. But they never build anything on it, so it's just there as just flat. How do you call it? A landing strip.
Okay.
And it was good because at different wind direction, the plane in the Second World War could have lifted off. So if the wind was in a different direction, they could have lifted off. So it gave me more maneuverability. So it became a very nice piece of real estate, solid and fairly long. And
so, as you said, it's an open space. You could go there whenever you choose to.
Yeah, sometimes cows pass up and down, but there's no real building. Lately, I've been seeing. Initially, they had put some derelict vehicles all at the very top, but I think they cleared that off. So I'm not too sure what's happening there now.
Do you think the reason maybe the young men who have the need for speed don't really go there, unless, of course, maybe there's some activity taking place, right, where they're able to do that? Do you think they won't go there because it's too far for them? Maybe that's one, or they don't get a chance to really show off to anybody.
Yeah, well, actually, it has not become it has not become organized, because there was a time it was organized.
Yes.
Vivian and them in Vieux-Fort used to have their regular weekend races.
Right.
But it was just a straight, see who is fastest going from point A to point B in a straight line. But that died off. But this is what needs to be organized, because there is always room for this kind of sport, but it has to be done within some safety margin.
Exactly. Because, go ahead.
Yeah, so if somebody, back to your point, which I don't think I had actually quite covered, back to your point, if somebody is desirous of seeing how far their vehicle can speed, you do not do that on roads that people are using all the time. Somebody will be crossing, animal will be crossing, and you'll danger yourself and danger other people. But you have to obey the law of the land. You cannot do anything you feel like. And I've seen two vehicles driving, and they're racing each other.
Yes.
And they're moving with a kind of speed and overtaking in a kind of way, but you have to pull on the side for them.
And you know they're racing. You could tell that they're racing.
So if you want to race, this is not the avenue to race. You have to find a club where you can do your racing in a manner that is safe and for people to enjoy, because it is an enjoying.
So just before we take the break, so do you think that will help, or maybe there's something about human nature that wants to see somebody noticing what I'm doing. I'm on
But
this
it's all that because it's all okay. It's all. I am growing up. I'm past 17. I'm just averaging between 17 and 27, 30. You want to know your powers. You want to know how good you are. You want to know how strong you are. You take chances. You do things. You try and impress people. Now, if you have no other claim to fame, you try and impress with a vehicle or with a gold chain, with some golden teeth.
Or a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. You will impress different people at different categories based on what you have. Or if you're intellectual, by your intellect.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever assets you have, you put it to the test to see who you can attract. It's not different from the animals in the bush, Like the peacock. Why you think the fowl, the cock, has much nicer plumage than the hen? The hen have no plumage.
Mm-hmm.
The cock has the chrome on the top, beautiful, nice feathers, because he is the one have to attract the female. So similarly, the male usually have all kind of antics to try to attract the female, and the female just watch on the side, let the two males fight, and the winner comes in.
Mm-hmm. But if that be the case, Dr. Surage, having organized events like at the Kakabe, for example, really and truly wouldn't help the situation because they don't really, as you don't really have anybody to see what you're doing per se.
Oh, they will come because see.
I don't say they won't come. They will come. But does that help solve the problem in any way?
Well, it solves the problem because it solves some of the problem because you are the pent up, I would say, aggression or the pent up adventurism you have can be manifested in a manner that is more controlled. So if it is on some Sundays you do a motorcar race, say it's about 400 yards, 500 yards, see who can make it, then it becomes a national event. Every Sunday, every time, lots of people come in, and it's a fair.
So you get your audience.
Yeah. It's not a few of you all go. Once it becomes an exhibition, and even when the motorcycles are doing their stuff, they still do it. Look at the amount of following they have. They would have people from all over the Caribbean would come in, and they have this motocross or whatever it is. And when they have the riding in various terrain, they have following.
And even what they call the wheelie, where you raise the...
Yeah, that's right.
The front of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean, guys do that on the highway. You see it.
That's right.
And I'm asking myself, but why would he do that? All it takes is one little mistake.
Show.
So it's
to show off.
Yeah.
To show off.
So you're saying, okay, so if the policymakers had to get some advice, Dr. Surage, in terms of addressing this problem, and this is just one of many suggestions, you would strongly suggest that they have some kind of organized race or something to help.
Organized activity. To engage the people so that they have something to look forward to and it is not unsafe for them. Because with these activities, there'll be safety measures and so forth.
So how does that lessen now their desire to want to do what they do on the dual carriageway and so on?
If they have an aggression that they want to act out, that's the place to act it out. But you don't have to do it at the expense of people in civilian life.
So you think it would help ameliorate that desire? You said whatever it is that's going on with them, at least it'll subside for a little while or something until next round.
If you want to ameliorate or to lessen the aggression we have, I would not think that this is the first place to start. You start with law and order.
Right, of course.
You start with training policemen to be more vigilant and giving them the legal support they need so that when they take somebody who has offended the law, they can be supported by the law. Because otherwise they would refrain from doing it because it will embarrass them. They have a case, they know you're driving and you're drunk, they can't prove it, and they just let you go.
Okay, Dr. Surage, we'll have to take a little break, and when we come back, you can give the number or the numbers that people can chime in on our little discussion. I think it's important what's going on here because I've been talking about this on my shows. I listen to other radio stations. I had the same discussion. So a lot of people are really, really concerned about what's happening on our roads, right? The carnage on our roads.
If it continues, something will be done.
Yes. So let's just take a little break and we'll come back. All right.
Okay,
so this is Doctor in the House live on REV-UP St. Lucia with Dr. Leonard Surage, brought to you with the compliments of La Place Salaison, Jeannot Cooperative Credit Union, and Tapia Hospital.
Tapia Hospital Radiology Department offers 24-hour service. We provide you with X-ray, CT scans, and ultrasound imaging using the most modern equipment that produces the best images for your medical attention. Call the radiology unit at 459-2201. Tapia Hospital, where the patient safety comes first.
In the heart of St. Lucia, where mountains meet the sea, there's a story of resilience, community, and a promise kept for over 50 years. Jeannot Credit Union has been a pillar of support and a friend. Together, we've weathered storms and celebrated triumphs, from sponsoring local events to supporting education. Our motto, together we can move mountains, isn't just words. It's a commitment to unity, progress, and shared success. Feel the pride, the belonging, and the warmth of a financial partner that cares. Join us and be part of something extraordinary.
It's delicious.
La Place Salaison is the true home of quality meat and deli products, selected and priced to suit every palate and pocket. We sell all cuts of meat, poultry and fish, from tasty lamb necks and succulent pork chops to lean dolphin and juicy top round steaks. Our deli items include turkey, ham, bacon, pork sausages, meat patties, chicken nuggets, deli ham and eggs, so that breakfast or that party is a breeze. And for your added convenience, we sell restaurant essentials and grocery items. So where's your next meal coming from? La Place Salaison, of course. La Place Salaison, Castries, Rosalie, Beaufort, and Soufrière.
It's delicious.
Welcome back to Doctor in the House live on REV-UP St. Lucia with Dr. Leonard Surage. Dr. Surage, welcome back.
Thank you again, Andre, and listeners. Thank you for staying on. At this point, I would like to invite you to participate in the discussion we're having. You can call us on the landline at 572-9710 or shoot us a WhatsApp at 287-0971. So looking forward to hearing from you.
Okay, we have a caller on the WhatsApp platform. Yes.
Hello, good evening.
Bonsoir, Dr. Surage. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
Ça va?
Ça va bien?
C'est bien? C'est moi aussi, c'est très bien. André, ça va?
Guten Abend.
Guten
That's German. So you rock him back.
I hope you know what you're saying, though.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
No
Exactly. You hate listeners?
Okay, go ahead.
So let's hear your contribution.
Yes, sir. Dr. Surage, Andre, and Solutions. This is a very important subject about what is it you're talking about the road and the road accidents.
Right.
And the lives it caused, families not prepared, wasn't, they had no idea that would have happened, so they didn't make provisions for these things, most importantly. People, what I don't like about this is one person paying for everybody paying for what is it one person is doing, meaning that the persons that driving recklessly causing accidents, they are causing the insurance company to bring up the premium, and that is not correct. In my opinion, with all the noise we're making, I hope one day, if they don't adhere pretty soon, that at least we will take to the streets. I'll tell you why. Because if from the 2 days I'm driving on the road, and Andre, all these years you've been driving on the road, I never hit nobody's vehicle, and to tell me that I have to be paying higher premiums because of somebody's mistake.
Yes, this is the
to me, you see the way I'm looking at it, everybody, I don't believe in second chances, but I believe if you hit a vehicle or you cause accident, especially when it's fatal, where life is involved, three times, to me, after that, that's it. Because you see what really happens, some of us don't even stand a chance, far less a second or third chance. So to me, it is not the right thing. The insurance company, please adhere to what, because it happens to me. I mean, the last time I went in, they told me, well, I asked them, I questioned them. They told me because there are lots of accidents. I say, excuse you, can I say something here? Because I'm not the one. Have I ever make a claim? No. Have I ever hit anybody? Good. So why I have to? Well, that's the way this is not correct. You'll have to review these things. And to me, the government of the day should actually advise these people to you can't take, I mean, this is not government workers, but at least to advise these people to let them know, come on, I mean, do it another way, but that is not the correct way to do it. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to detour for...
just a second before you detour, Anthony, let's just get Dr. Surage take on that. Dr. Surage, is that being unreasonable to expect the insurance companies, instead of penalizing those people who are safe drivers, okay? Those people who are careful on the roads and they don't create a nuisance for anybody, not for themselves, not for their neighbor, right? I think that the insurance companies should be rewarding those drivers by keeping their premiums at a certain level, right? Is that being unreasonable to expect something like that? Instead of it being the way it is now, which is now they say, okay, it's in a pool and everybody's affected. What is your take on that?
Okay, my take on that is that whereas it is unfortunate it has to be like this, but I think the way society operates, the government sets the stage, they set the standard. And whether it is the banks, whether it is credit union, whether it is the insurance company, you can begin to tell them, I'm expecting A, B, C of you. Make it happen.
Okay, I get you.
But left for the people dishing out the money who have a vested interest in not paying out, expect them not to pay out. Mm-hmm. But you have the overriding ability to make law, to change law, to navigate where you think your citizens are best to benefit.
All right. I'm with you on that. Anthony, you agree?
Yes, of course. I know I don't agree, but
I agree that what Dr. Surage is saying, we the people should be applying the pressure on the policymakers. That's what we put them for.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course.
So it's unfortunate that...
And Dr. Surage, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, the way some of us are brought up, right? We don't like to rock the boat and so on. We're afraid to...
That's right.
Right? We don't like doing that because we are told, shut up, obey, and this sort of thing.
That's right. Yes, Anthony, well, I get to know your name. Good. Since you know my name.
Well, I will not agree to it.
To what?
But to I mean, the way everything is designed and everything.
Oh, okay.
To say, okay, obey and everything. But, Andre, I send in something out there to let the public know. On my take, to me, the way I see this ain't going nowhere in a hurry. So, for instance, if any time we make up our mind to march in that case for this, my brother, all my family will be on the road protesting, because that is not right. It cannot be okay, and it will never be okay. Something has to be done, something has to give, because it is unfair, Andre. It's just that, for instance, I raise with my brothers, I see them doing something, it is wrong, I speak the truth. They intend to lie and tell my mother, yes, they already prayed, and I tell, no, they haven't prayed, and then I get punished too. I raise up that way, so that's why that's very dear to my heart. My son cannot speak the truth and still beat him. I have to forgive him and let him know, speak the truth the next time, I'll forgive you this time around. Okay? But next time, quickly. Dr. Surage, this one is very, very close to me and very dear to you. I'll tell you why. As a doctor, you go into surgery, okay? There's organs, there's all kind of things in there where you open the internal body. You go, you in the body, you cut it and everything. Remember, everybody's watching, everybody's assisting. The only thing that you and the doctors, your colleagues out there, to prevent that strong smell if the person is cancerous or cancer, whatever, is a mask, a surgical mask. Not an oxygen mask. Mask is a. So at the end of it, tell me, what is it that you, your colleagues, do? I mean, if it's in the next week or two, every month or every 6 months or every year, detox, or to try and get these fumes, because remember, the surgical mask, it doesn't, prevent all the smell, you inhaling all that smell. So what is it that you'll have in place for your doctors to detox yourselves and to purge yourselves to make sure these things don't affect you all in the long run?
Okay. The way the non-doctors see it and the way the doctors see it is different. I can say that about 90% of the operation I operate on have no infection, have no smell, have no nothing. It is a pure healing skin, and the tissues that are healthy tissues, they are not good for whatever reason. Of course, you have situation where you have pus and where you have infection, and you have to clean that off. And usually, if they consider it to be a tetanus type of bacteria, because the bacteria vary. There are some that are very aggressive. After you do that case, you fumigate the whole room, You take out, clean everything that's in the operating theater, you take it out. Your clothes and everything goes. But generally, if it is a pus that you are cleaning out and it has a smell, the extractors extract all that. But this smell hardly go, because the smell, it is as a result of the fight between the bacteria and your white cells. It makes pus, it has a smell, and each smell is peculiar to a particular bacteria. Antibiotics clear all that. And so when you have a mask, the mask will let a certain amount of molecules. Now the smell is not infectious, it's not bacteria, it is a vapor or some of the chemicals that are floating in the air that give you a smell. There are smells you don't even smell. For example, a moth will have a female moth 1 mile away and can smell it. You don't even know that's happening. So it is not particulate, neither it is infective. A smell is a kind of chemical that is liberated by the bacteria when it fights the body, and that liberation floats in the air, and if it is small enough, it passes through the mask. But the mask is made of a material that is so fine that very, very small particles are being kept away. So basically, you don't do an operation and leave out and all your long-smelling bacteria and you're going away. It's not like that. I don't know if I have answered your question.
Anthony?
Yeah, I think that explained it a bit, because I seen the butchers also, when they kill a cow, the cow doesn't drink alcohol, only drinks water and grass. So it's more like less toxic.
Yeah.
Because I try to do the similarity.
Okay, thanks for the call, Anthony. We have to take others.
But what you're saying is
are
the things that we like to explain so people understand it. Thanks for the question.
Okay, thank you very much. So the lines are open. The fixed line is 572-9710, or you can WhatsApp right now. That's the preferred platform. I see that it's been so for a while. We have somebody on the WhatsApp platform, which is 287-0971. Yes, Dr. Surage.
Hello.
Hey, good evening, Andre.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to one of our favorite callers.
Yeah.
Thanks for accepting my call.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're most welcome, sir.
Yeah, Doc, I have a little concern. You see, we have a lot of women driving on our roads, of course, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I never heard they involved in any accident where somebody died. It's mostly the male that is behind the steering when somebody passed away.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when you hear a woman died, a lady died in an accident, it's either she she's a passenger, a pillion rider,
Yes.
or a pedestrian.
Yes.
Yeah, the statistic I think might show that.
You remember that we said earlier on that about 80% of the accident, the fatalities that happen, usually in males and usually between 18 and 44 years.
Yeah.
80%.
So, Doc, although
You
the
heard
Prime
that? You heard
Minister
that?
said-
You heard that, caller? 80.
Yeah,
80%.
80.
80. Yeah. I heard the Prime Minister said he cannot make any excuse, or I myself not making any excuse for the type of driving I'm seeing on the road there. Those fatalities, and no excuse for that.
Well,
But let me tell you, Doc.
Go ahead.
Where these accidents are happening, you can say it's on many smooth roads, nice roads. Okay? Yeah. I have a question. I have a little concern. The final layer that the asphalt, I don't know. Have we ever checked that asphalt? Is it what is good for us? The asphalt? I wonder if the asphalt has anything to do with those type of accident we are having on the road. Like I'm telling you, I'm not making any excuse for those bad driving.
I don't want to lose
asphalt.
I don't want to lose that topic, that subject. So you can go on, but I'll have to answer that one.
Yeah, and then the tires, the type of tires we import in the country. I don't know if our roads are designed for those tires. You see, these are questions we have to ask too. The type of tires we import to put on the vehicles to drive on the type of roads we have. Are these tires up to date? Okay.
So when you say up to date, you're talking about the quality of the tires, or what?
The quality of tires we import to put on our vehicles. Is the grade you understand what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Is it
Go ahead.
to matching the asphalt, the surface we are driving on?
Yeah, it's a good question.
These are things we have to look.
Yeah, these are very good questions.
The asphalt, what we call the Baba grain, and the tires we import, are they in line with each other? Because the type of accident we have, I just can't understand that. I'll give somebody else the line.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Good
what
night.
I can say about that is that the road surface varies, and the quality of road surface, there are different types of quality. That I'm not an expert in that area, and neither do I profess to be one. But I think it's something that needs to be investigated, whether the surface is adequate for the use to which we put it. Sometimes, most of the second-hand tires we get are usually imported from the States. And the standards for tire...
You mean like the used tires? The used ones? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
the used ones. And these tires, they are made to a high specification. And there is not a tire to match a road. The tires are made with certain type of grips to spread the water away, and so that when it passes in the water gets out and the rubber hits the road. But the road surface must be of a quality that can withstand a certain speed and a certain traction. And the qualities vary. I do not know if the quality of road we have monitored in that way. And that's something that I think that should happen. Because the contractor may be putting a road together for you, and we do not know if the surface they're using is good for rough road, the wet road, muddy road, whatever. So and the amount of grip it has, because I know somebody was telling me that when the sun is very hot, and say like during the sunny weather, the road is warmer, the tires are warm. So there's a bit of, almost like a film of rubber on the road. And the first set of rain that comes in makes it slippery. Because the rubber, and also vehicles that have leaks, engine leaks, the oil leaks on the road Vieux-Fort Castries and you have a leak, all the road and vehicle upon vehicle, time upon time, cause a film of oil on the road. So the combination of the rubber and the oil, and you're having speed, that can make the road unsafe.
You may have a point there, Dr. Surage. I don't know if you recall, there's a certain section of road, I think either before the Bordelais Correctional Facility, right? Or I don't know, maybe a little lower down. I'm not too sure. I don't recall. But there was a certain portion of road where motorists were repeatedly skidding in that area there.
I know
it happened to me once for sure, I can tell you that. And I wasn't speeding. You just find yourself losing control of the vehicle.
It's amazing you mentioned that. One thing that saddens me the most is when I see when the engineers that construct the road actually lay down the road, years afterwards when they're repairing it, they undo certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you go in, I think you're talking specifically, if you're going from, say, you're going north, when you pass the Denry lookout,
right,
you go down.
That's right, exactly.
The road begin to slope down, and that corner, the banking has disappeared. By banking, I mean the outer edge of the road must be elevated to a point whereby it can withstand the momentum of the vehicle. There's another place I saw it. You see, if you're in Vieux-Fort, you go into Labre. And then after you get to where El Pirata was, there's El Pirata, there's a bridge.
Yes.
And there's a corner. I have seen distinctly that this corner had a banking when Wimpy and them, whoever made it, when they were making that road, they create an upper banking so that when the vehicle going through that corner, it is the center of gravity do not leave the body of the vehicle. It stays within and the road is secure. Whoever was repairing it cut the top. So when you're driving there, at certain point you feel you're going the other way, as if your balance is tilting you towards the outer edge,
yes.
and you come back again.
Now, that particular road we were speaking about, I remember that road was resurfaced and so on, and we haven't had that problem since then. I remember that. But quite a few drivers were complaining that section of road, including myself. I was heading down south one evening, and I just lost control of the vehicle. When I couldn't do anything anymore, I just tapped the brakes, and my vehicle made a circle, right? And I ended up heading back up north. Right, I could have lost my life at that point in time. So quite a few, but I'm saying that road has been resurfaced, and that really hasn't been happening. So what the caller I think was asking, very good question, whether some of our roads could be compromised.
I think so, and I think that it is something I would like to hear the authorities speak about, at least to educate us.
Yes,
because I don't profess to be a road builder, but common sense is. Everybody's supposed to have common sense, and
supposed to.
Yeah. So yes, I would say that I think the surface of the road is very important in terms of how the road and the rubber interact.
Yes, well said, well said. So that's a very good point that the caller earlier, our final caller, was making. Yeah. Yeah, because there must be a marriage, when you call it that, between the road and the tires and so on.
Yeah.
And I like the way you explained that, as to how the tires navigate the roads.
Yeah, because some tires are made for rough terrain, some are made for wet road. And the wet road, you can see the way the tire is, the grooves on the tire, the way it is made, it allows, when it goes through the water on the road, it spread the water out, so the water is out before it hits the asphalt, and so that's how you can maintain your traction. And these tires are made for that. The only thing is that with imported tires, second-hand tires, you do not know if there is dry rot. You do not know how long it has been there.
That's the thing, the problem.
And so these are issues that should be addressed, etc.
And the question is, can we feel confident that they are being addressed? That's the thing. We really don't know.
No, I think that in the same spirit of openness and trying to explain what things are, I think whoever has the information must let us know, tell us, educate the public, because the public needs far more education than we have. We are operating on feels, on I feel so, I feel that, and none of people who, there's no literature you can read on it, but they just feel. So we have to operate on information. And that's the whole purpose of this exercise, to educate, inform, and clarify areas of misconception.
Well, maybe Dr. Surage, maybe on a future program you can bring one of the traffic department individuals to come in here and have that discussion. Yeah, it's all about health.
Yeah, that's right. Now, there's an issue I wanted to bring up, and that is to do with enforcement versus education. We are still on road traffic accident. I do not know how many drivers know the law as it relates to what distance you must be behind a vehicle. I have seen them driving at 50, 40 miles an hour and one car length.
It's called tailgating.
That's right.
It makes me nervous.
And what I find is, I don't want to lose that trend, but there's something I wanted to say as well. That is, those of us who have lived overseas and who have seen these social problems being addressed and the manner in which it's addressed, we wonder why is it that we are so left behind. To me, I get the impression that people don't know how things are done elsewhere. I can tell you, living in England for many, many years, I got an appreciation for obeying law and order. Because there are so many CCTV cameras that you don't even have to look for whether a policeman is there or not. I remember once I was driving, I was in a cab, and I told the guy, this is where I am stopping, in a little hotel. He told me, I cannot stop there for you. I said, but he said, you see the lines? All the lines that say that you can't stop. You cannot even stop to put you down.
Wow.
I have to go somewhere else to do that. And I said, well, but there's no police. He said, no matter what you do, the camera picks you up. So you had better, let's go right around, I'll put you down and you'll walk the rest.
And I think that says something as well, Dr. Surage, that maybe you're not saying, that whoever the authorities are, they follow up.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to be monitoring those, the footage to see who went afoul of the law.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
So I think that, first of all, for us to get out of this quagmire we are in, the authorities must at some point make it a priority. And when you see government make something a priority, and we know from countries elsewhere how when they make things priority, it happens. Because they put the resources, they put the training, they put the law, and they put the money behind it. And if you want something to stop, all you have to do is to get some experts who understand the field well enough and to navigate it for you and make it happen. And I think what we are doing, we are looking at educating as the main tool. Now, the approaches are either enforcement or education, but we should do both, because you can enforce the law and ensure that the people who are carrying out the law, the policemen, they feel secure and they feel safe in being able to take a particular case to justice and not being worried about whether they will have enough evidence. They must be trained enough and committed enough to be able to take the case to its fruition. And I think that's one aspect of it. The second is, do not expect by telling people, behave yourself, don't drive too fast. The people you are saying that to are not listening. And I think it's a waste of breath to expect that plea to ever get anywhere. Because the same guys who will break the law are the same one who not listening, are the same one who don't care, and the same one who, they have a track record. And so you have to find a way of dealing with them where they can feel it.
Mm-hmm. And the pocket is where you start.
That is right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we have been putting too much emphasis on educating, not educating alone, but appeasing people. I don't really want to be rough with you. I don't really want to disappoint you. When people have broken the law, they have broken the law. And the law and order is extremely important. It is perhaps one of the main areas that we have to prioritize.
It's really true, Dr. Surage. Appeasement. Mm-hmm. And you see it in leadership. I remember it was a former leader of the Soviet Union. I think it was Ceausescu. He said something. He said that when he was taking certain actions, he said nobody said anything. So I thought what I was doing was the right thing because nobody said anything.
Okay.
And it just goes back to what you said earlier about us not, we the people, not raising our voices for whatever reason. And I'm glad you made the point earlier that we must not stop people from being that way. Because had it not been for those people like Martin Luther King and so many others, Mahatma Gandhi, who went against the system, right? Because the system was flawed. Okay?
Right.
And it changed because that was true. It wasn't easy. But the minute you see you don't say anything, and you see it happening right now. I mean, sorry for bringing it up again there with the current U.S. president.
Yeah.
You see where everybody's trying to appease him and flatter him and so on. And the more they do that, yes, it's true. There's a temporary gratification that he seems to try to, give them what they're asking for. But then he does things that are even worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just this appeasement. You saw it with Hitler. Trying to make peace and so on with Hitler, and then once you start appeasing these individuals, yes, it's true. You probably have something temporarily, but in the long run, it just makes it worse. So we are the employers, and we need to be the ones making the noise. Because if we don't, it just goes back to what Ceausescu said. I thought I was doing the right thing. Nobody said anything to me.
What usually happens in terms of social order, etc., is that the situation, if left unchecked, will continue to worsen. It gets worse. It continues until such time as some leader somewhere will mobilize some people and begin to want change. Sometimes the pendulum would have swung too far and caused too much hardship, too much death, too much sorrow before it revert back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, good governance can spot these things from early and begin to correct, and don't let the pendulum swing too far.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it is a pendulum for health, for finance, for education, whatever it is, do not let the pendulum swing too far, because you will take drastic corrective measures to bring it back.
Correct. Okay, Dr. Surage, we have to end.
So early? Okay.
The clock on the wall says it's past the time already.
And I think you deliberately put the clock behind my head.
Yes, Dr. Surage.
Well, thank you, listeners, for the contribution you all have made. And I know I speak to people, and quite a few people listen to the program, though they may not actually articulate any question. But I'm happy you all stayed on, and thanks a lot. We'll be back here again next Tuesday. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Surage, for your service. And as Dr. Surage said, next week, Tuesday, same time, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., only on REV-UP St. Lucia 95.9 FM. So this has been Dr. In the House with Dr. Leonard Surage, brought to you with the compliments of Laplace, Salazon, Journal Cooperative Credit Union, and Tapio Hospital.
At Tapio Hospital, we operate a 24-hour emergency service for all your urgent healthcare needs. Our qualified medical specialist will be on hand to ensure that you receive the best of care. Call us at 459-2617. Tapio Hospital, where the patient safety comes first.
In the heart of St. Lucia, where mountains meet the sea, there's a story of resilience, community, and a promise kept for over 50 years. Journal Credit Union has been a pillar of support and a friend. Together, we've weathered storms and celebrated triumphs, from sponsoring local events to supporting education. Our motto, together we can move mountains, isn't just words. It's a commitment to unity, progress, and shared success. Feel the pride, the belonging, and the warmth of a financial partner that cares. Join us and be part of something extraordinary.
It's delicious.
La Plaza Salazar is the true home of quality meat and deli products, selected and priced to suit every palate and pocket. We sell all cuts of meat, poultry and fish, from tasty lamb necks and succulent pork chops to lean dolphin and juicy top round steaks. Our deli items include turkey, ham, bacon, pork sausages, meat patties, chicken nuggets, deli ham and eggs, so that breakfast or that party is a breeze. And for your added convenience, we sell restaurant essentials and grocery items. So where's your next meal coming from? La Plaza Salazar, of course. La Plaza Salazar, Castries, Groselet, Beaufort, and Soufrière.
It's delicious.
REV-UP St. Lucia is located at Unit 4, Gablewoods Mall, Sunny Acres, Castries, St. Lucia. Tune in on 95.9 FM or online at REVUPSLU.com. Call the studio at 572